What is going on, guys? Nivoleth here, and welcome back to another Battlefront 2 video. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Battlefront 2 content such as videos and live streams. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be one of the first to see a new video or know when I go live. The other day, I made a video ranking the 4 trooper classes in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit bigger. I will be ranking the 18 reinforcements in Battlefront 2 from worst to best. Keep in mind that these are not ranked based off of my personal enjoyment of the reinforcement, but more so ranked by how good they actually are in the game. Another thing to consider is that all of the reinforcements in the game are pretty solid and they're all usable, so just because one isn't ranked very well doesn't mean it's horrible and unable to be used. This will be a much longer video than usual on this channel, so let's get to work. At number 18, which is last place, we have the Ewok Hunter reinforcement. The Ewok Hunter is in the infiltration class and it's actually pretty fun to play. Despite this, it's kinda underpowered and struggles to do much of anything other than maybe killing troopers with a little bit of ease in a one-on-one situation. They really can't take on more than one enemy at a time and they feel really underpowered in my mind. This is why they're in last place. Coming in at number 17, we have the Droideka. The Droideka was one of the most anticipated content additions to Battlefront 2 post-launch, and it's actually just pretty disappointing in my opinion. They are able to get across the battlefield pretty quickly and can be fun to play, but they just feel pretty underwhelming. Their shield is alright, but it takes too long to get out of ball form and into position, which leaves you vulnerable to take a ton of damage. They are most effective when catching groups of enemies off guard, whether it be from behind or from the sides, but straight up combat is hard for the Droideka. At number 16, we have the ISB Agent. The ISB Agent is a dual-wielding, agile reinforcement with a fun and unique melee style. Unfortunately, it's just not that powerful. None of its abilities deal any damage, and its blasters are pretty underpowered. She may be a ton of fun to play because of her ninja kicks, but as a whole, she's pretty low on the list. At number 15, we have the Flametrooper. In close quarters, the Flametrooper is very useful and dangerous. Unfortunately, it has almost no use in open warfare. Its flamethrower does a ton of damage, and it's the mortal enemy of lightsaber heroes, but any ranged opponent could easily outgun the Flametrooper. It's useful in certain situations, but it has too many limitations to be ranked any higher than this. At number 14, we have the Clone Jet Trooper. This Jet Trooper is the worst of all aerials in my opinion, because its blaster really isn't super strong. Aerials are really fun to play with, but the clone one feels a little weak in comparison. At number 13, we have the Wookiee Warrior. I'm not a huge fan of the bowcaster, but with overload, it does a crazy amount of damage. Its thermal imploder is lethal and the health ability helps as well. It's kind of slow and it's a big target, which is why it isn't ranked any higher. At the number 12 spot, there's the B2 Super Battle Droid. It's a high health enforcer with the signature overload ability being extremely dangerous. Its wrist rocket is solid as well. I'd say it could be argued that it should be ranked higher, but this is just where it ranks for me compared to everything else. Looking at the number 11 slot, we have the Resistance/Rebellion Rocket Troopers. They are combined into one spot because there isn't really much of a difference between the two. They're agile and the rocket is obviously strong. Their weapons are a lot better than the Clone Jet Trooper, which is why it ranks a little bit higher. Now we're going to break into the top 10. At number 10, we have the ARC Trooper. The ARC Trooper would have likely been in my top 5, but they absolutely ruined it when they changed his fire rate in a recent update. I used to love the dual-wield, dual-trigger firing method that they had before, but they changed it to a single-trigger mechanism for seemingly no reason, and it made it a lot worse and less fun to play. Still, the ARC Trooper is a solid reinforcement and can deal a good amount of damage, which is why it's still in the top 10. At number 9, we have the Kafex Spy. The Kafex Spy is a ton of fun to use, especially with its abilities. The rapid fire ability that it has is the exact same one that Han Solo has in the game. It melts enemies with ease. The R1 ability is a strong baton weapon, melee, and it knocks down enemies on the third hit. Its L1 ability allows for the Kafex Spy to call in a short orbital strike, which is lethal against small and condensed groups of enemies. I love the Kafex Spy, and I think it deserves more love. At number 8, we have the Imperial Rocket Trooper. He's just an aerial with the E11 as his blaster. He's not really that fancy. His abilities are the same as other aerials with the rocket and jetpack abilities. I just tend to do very well with him and I find him to be one of the better aerials, especially with the new addition of the E11. At number 7, we have another aerial trooper. The B2 rocket droid is absolutely lethal for the Separatists. His wrist blaster and wrist rocket is a blast to use, and the typical agility and quickness of the aerial class fits well with these other things. There's not much to say about it other than the fact that it's a ton of fun to use and is very powerful. With the number 6 spot on this list, we have the Ovisian Gunner. The Ovisian Gunner is a tank health-wise, and its primary weapon is a super powerful rapid-fire sentry gun. Its other abilities include a health boost and an alternate sentry mode that's similar to Supercharged Sentry. It deals a ton of damage and absolutely wrecks enemies. Its charge ability is fun as well, especially against infantry. It actually runs pretty fast too for being such a heavy trooper. Now we break into our top 5. With the number 5 spot, we have the Commando droid. It's an absolute blast to play as with its unique vibro sword ability. They are quick and hard to hit with a solid blaster to accompany it. Its middle ability allows the Commando droid to see enemies through walls and smoke, and its smoke ability allows it to escape from immediate danger. The Commando droid is a fan favorite in Battlefront 2, and for good reason. At number 4, we have the Sith Trooper. The Sith Trooper looks amazing with its bright red armor, and strikes fear in opposing players with its lethal blaster. It shoots very rapidly, and has a strong secondary fire to go along with it. Its grenade does some decent damage, and blocks enemies' abilities to regenerate health. The Sith Trooper also has an ability that allows it to increase its sprint speed, and it also allows it to speed up his own health regeneration while it's active. With the number 3 spot, we have the Clone Commando. The Clone Commando has grown on me a ton since it got added to the game, and I now personally regard it as one of the best in the game. It has a very decent weapon that deals a solid amount of damage. It also has an alternate fire mode that lets it shoot 3 rockets which do good damage to infantry and decent damage to vehicles as well. The real draw for the Clone Commando is its middle ability, which allows it to regen health with each bullet landed on enemies. It basically makes the Clone Commando invincible as long as you're hitting your shots, and it is proven to be kryptonite to enemy heroes as well. Now at number 2, we have the First Order Jet Trooper. This is the most unique of all the aerials because it got a rework with the Rise of Skywalker update. Not only is it able to fly, similar to Boba Fett, but it also has the ability to hover in the air and shoot from a still spot in the sky. Its blaster has a soft lock-on, so if you shoot anywhere near an enemy, the blaster bolt will hit. It does splash damage as well. It's sometimes very hard to hit, and with the damage it does, it's certainly one of the best in the game. And finally, with the number 1 spot, we have the Imperial Death Trooper. The Death Trooper is absolutely lethal, especially since getting the E11D blaster added to it recently. It has a ton of health, and with overload activated, it can absolutely decimate enemies. It also has an ability that gives it even more health, so he can basically mow through enemies with ease. His Sonic Imploder isn't amazing or anything, but it doesn't matter too much because everything else about the Death Trooper is super awesome. That's why it makes my number 1 spot when it comes to reinforcements. Well, there it is, guys, my personal ranking of all 18 reinforcements in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I will be doing one of these videos for the heroes and villains in the game as well, so keep an eye out for those. Again, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Also, turning on post notifications will allow you to get notified whenever I go live or whenever a new video gets posted. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.